Good day to all of you glorious, legendary Rascallion Resonators. The name's FOXSOL. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more Wuthering Waves. And before we get started, like always, I'm hoping that you're having a terrific day. So, today's video topic of choice is going to be my take on the update for WutheringWaves 1.2, version 1.2, and just give you basically a little bit of a review about it. And before anyone comes at me and gets started on this, I already know that this update is not done yet. But we're practically at the end of the road, and everything else that's going to come out is straight up stuff we've already done, I've already seen, and it's not that big of a deal to where I believe I can completely talk about this. And, you know, if you want to hear, take a seat at the bar, grab yourself something cold to drink. The fucking bar is open, it's open house, take whatever you want. Let's sit down and let's have this conversation. All right? All right. So, we're talking about 1.2, the update that we're in currently right now, and it's coming to an end. 1.2, I have to say, in my personal opinion, and you could disagree with me all you want, but I think that the mass majority would end up agreeing with me about this update, because you read it in places like Reddit, you can read this in Discord. 1.2 is a little bit of a not so hype, lackluster update. To be fairly honest, it's not a bad thing in my personal opinion, but this is, if you ever watch an anime like Dragon Ball Z, you know, before they got to the Cell saga, right after the Frieza saga and everything else, the Android saga, excuse me, you had the part where Goku wasn't there and they went into the Garlic Jr. episodes, which had nothing to do with the main story, to be completely honest. It wasn't in the manga, it was useless. So at that point in time, you know, it was just filler episodes. And that's the way I look at 1.2. 1.2 is just a filler episode. It provided a few things, which were all right, but mass majority of the update really failed to keep my interest, in all honesty. And we'll break down the event here and go through all that right now. So, coming into our main menu, our terminal, we can go take a look at event. By the Moon's Grace, this was an event that we worked on that, in all honesty, in less than a week, like 3 or 4 days, we were able to get to level 6 with the Moonlit Festival relatively fast. And in all honesty, I've already did a video on this, but this is just like a MapleStory web-based thing where you point, click, and you know, you're not even really doing anything. It's just click here, watch your little chibi characters do something on the screen and collect points. And then you do your Moonlit offerings, you get everything out of it, you build up the stalls, and in all honesty, it's a fun little break, if you would. It's a break event. It's nothing that you actually got to sit there. You don't go kill things. You're not doing any kind of puzzles. There's no real thinking involved. It's just point, click, collect points. Build up the popularity of the festival, and then you're done. Well, this right here, the Moonlit Festival, the By the Moon's Grace event, I'm going to be honest, and it still got 21 days and 18 hours left in it. This entire event was relatively, in my personal opinion, very boring. It had a cool little cinematic after you completed everything. You set off the fireworks. We're able to get more into Yao's story. And in all honesty, that was like the only highlights that really was from the event. Otherwise than that, there was nothing about it that I would be, you know, telling my best friend, oh yeah, come play WutheringWaves, come do the festival event. The only thing I said is do the festival event and make sure you get 6,000 points, so that way you can get So all you had to do is just get to 6,000, you can get, and then you're done. As you can see with our festival event, we're at 53,000. We've maxed the shit out of it. We beat the crap out of it. We did everything in it, and we're going to be getting a 5-star Yao out of this. But that was the only thing. Like, there's no real thing out here. Just come in here, come do your moonlit offerings, come do your exchanges, come get all this stuff, and you're good to go. Along with this, we had the Desolate Realm, which they kind of changed it up a little bit, but overall it is still, even with Carnival of Slumberland, it's still the same thing. It's still Desolate Realm, and like I've showcased this on live streams, I've showcased this in different videos in the past. Desolate Realm, once you figure out, you don't have to have a strategy, you don't have to do anything more, you don't even have to read anything in here. You can just go straight into it and button mash basically, and you know, chew crayons, shit out paint chips, and just be a button mashing freak. You can complete this relatively easy. Desolate Realm is one of the easiest things there is, and I like the fact that they did change up the scenery a little bit. You know, it did feel a little bit good, but overall not something to actually cry about. You know, we've already experienced Death of the Elusive Realm from 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2. They just basically changed the background. They changed the wallpaper. Not that big of a deal. Gifts of the Lunar Radiance in this event, pretty much the same thing as it has been since 1.0, 1.1, and now 1.2, where you just log in for 7 days and these are your rewards. When it comes into doing the True Colors side story for Zhezhi, I'm gonna be honest, the story was nicely animated, but it was a snooze fest. Like, legitimately, Zhezhi herself as a character, which she was the character for 1.2 here, the first one on the banner. Yeah, she was, the best way I could put this, she was a character that's personality was a doorknob. She's a character that honestly, she looks great, she plays great, but her personality was not appealing whatsoever compared to other female characters that's in this game. This is your pretty little princess that has, you know, confidence issues, that she can't do anything on her own, that she needs Rover to come on her back. And in all honesty, she's not an appealing character personally, like personalizing what she is. And I understand more now the reason, even after doing the guides for Zhezhi, why a lot of people skipped her, because she's not really a hyped character. She is, like, to me, a great character today. If you are working a Genshi team or something, this is a good sub DPS to have. But in all honesty, the character itself, if you're versing this character versus what's coming in 1.3 with Shorekeeper or Yoo-Hoo, with the possibility of Scar and Camellia coming out by, 1.4 to 2.0, Zhezhi was a character that was totally a skippable character. There was no need to have her. So that was a little bit of a failure point in my personal opinion. Like, even when she was leaked, she was like, oh, it's another kind of Changli Genshi type character, but like I said, the personality of the character was not appealing enough to a lot of players, including myself, to really want to invest in her. I just do it because I promised that on this channel that each character we will showcase in some way, shape, form. We did also her trial, that was fine, but and then just recently we have the tower defense that came out, which in all honesty, you already seen my tower defense, review. And I know there was one guy that made a long post telling me, hey, I should wait till this happens. yeah, the believe in Kuro games, all this other stuff, like long message. I haven't even gone through all the message, and I do appreciate the person that took the time to write that. But at the same point in time, I mean, come to the Discord and we can actually have a conversation at that point. Okay, man. I'm not gonna lie, like, if you want to talk that heavily about WutheringWaves and stuff like that, I got a Discord. You can message me. We can get in a VC if you want. We can actually have that conversation. I don't mind. I'm even looking at starting a podcast where we can actually have conversations like this. The basic principle of what I was trying to state in that review when it came to this event is that this event, we have, you know, just like the boss rush, just like, you know, it was before, we have different stages that we have to collect, you know, even like Alloy Smith, where you got to collect up to a certain amount of points right here in order to get these rewards. Same thing here, you got to get this right here in order to get this reward, so you get your stage rewards or you get your point rewards. And legitimately, I understand that the first stage was a tutorial and the second one was like the first level, and I have a maxed out character that's pretty much decimated and everything, but the event as a whole, for what it showcased, unless something drastically changes, I don't think it will. You're defending a single tower, and it's just like going into the open world and defending the towers in the open world. There's nothing really more to it than that. And like I said, unless something drastically changes with the tower defense, I'm saying that it's a 4 out of 10 type of event. Like, I was actually kind of excited. I was thinking that this was going to be, you know, a cool little, you know, event that for co-op purposes, that we have something that would force us to play co-op. Not really. And I'm going to make a video about something like this, which is going to be called basically Game versus Gotcha. So I'm letting y'all guys know this. I have a entire thing about this, about, you know, what truly is WutheringWaves in terms of what it's trying to perform as. And I promise to make that video later. So we'll discuss that point later. But keeping to the 1.2 update here, I know we're not finished. I know we still got another Alloy Smith, I believe, that's supposed to come out. But so far, the update has not been really that amazing. It's not been that great. It has been more or less just a simple, decent update. You see, I think that with, you know, 1.3 coming out, 1.3 is going to be the hype, you know, update. And I'll put it like this. 1.0, I've already stated this in another video, which I know hasn't released yet by the time I'm making this video, but it will. I made a video that's basically saying, that said, you know, hey, did WutheringWaves set the bar too high? And the reason why I made that video is because, in all honesty, when you look at what happened with 1.0 to 1.1, it wasn't a small update. You know, it wasn't like a little tiny update that just came in to fill in the blanks. It was an update that took a drastic leap, that was super hyped up, new area, basically all the cool events like the boss raid, the boss rush mode, you know, the two characters Zhezhi and Chang Li, that was really hyped up, and the way that they play and everything else just showcased how beautiful the gameplay, the combat was. This was a point when 1.1 came out that you saw a drastic change in the game. Okay, it's not something that was a soft settle event. It was an actual change. It was like things got much deeper. 1.2, I just see, you know, it's not an update that lifts the bar any for WutheringWaves, and that's me being blunt honest. 1.2 just came in, kind of filled in a few blanks, didn't add a new area. It's just like it's just a basic little update just to be like, hey, here you go, guys, something for y'all to do while we work on the true meat and potatoes. So it's an appetizer to the hype that we're going to get with 1.3 when Black Shores comes out, when the Shorekeeper, a character that actually, you know, looks like it's got a great personality. If you look at the leaks on Reddit and everything else, the Shorekeeper herself looks, you know, very interesting. It looks like a JJK character, Jujutsu Kaisen character that's coming in with domain expansion. We have a little girl, who's coming in that's going to be a gambling addict. You know, that you got to use gambling mechanics for your alt. It's beautiful. It's really hype. More to the story. It's going to be, it's a more hype, it's a more update that I think that 1.3 is going to bring back the bar, you know, for WutheringWaves that 1.2 did not do. And I don't think that, like, look, don't get me wrong, people who is about to write and tear my head apart for saying this kind of stuff, don't get me wrong, I don't think, honestly, you know, it's a bad thing. I think that, you know, it's a good thing that we have updates like this because, you know, it gives Kuro Games a chance to, you know, produce better, do different things. You do basically, the way I look at it, this gives them a better chance to go ahead and optimize the game, do basic quality of life changes with these smaller updates versus doing it in a bigger update, so that way they have more room, more time to do other things. You know, this is where I see it, like, you know, 1.2, I kind of see it like, you know, it's not a beta or anything, but it's like we're going to have a small little testing here. We're going to put some quality of life changes into these little updates, you know, between massive updates, just to ensure that things are working right before we go hardcore and put in a new area and make this massively huge update. Like, I'm honestly thinking that 1.4 most likely is also going to be like a 1.2 update. It's not going to really have much of anything to it, and it's not going to be as hype as what 1.3 is going to be. That is my honest prediction. I think that the next big hype after 1.3 is going to be 2.0. But I digress. I'm going to come back down and not ramble too much, but I'm just going to say 1.2 has been more or less just a small update that I think, you know, it did its job, but at the same point in time, it's not. It's nothing to get overexcited. It was nothing to get overexcited about. It was nothing to be hyped about with it. It was just a simple, easy update. That's my personal take on it. I mean, like, look, I know I'm gonna get prosecuted for this one as well, but I'll say this. You did have something else that was added in here, which was the hover droid shooting mechanic. That right here, I will still defend myself stating that this is legitimately right now, not future wise, but right now, the most useless quality of life change there is. This is not a quality of life change in my personal opinion. This right here is an adaptation for gamer laziness, because people don't want to change to a character like, you know, a free character that you can see on the screen with Shiax right here, to where you can hold down a trigger and you can aim and shoot in the puzzles. You know, you can just do shooting in the puzzles. People were too lazy in a sense because they didn't want to come to teams, they didn't want to come click right here, and they didn't want to come pick the character and then go back into the thing because they didn't want to ruin the immersion of the game. But I digress. Isn't it at the same point in time, you know, you're in the middle of something that you're gonna have to press the left trigger, go from, you know, your grapple hook like this, switch it over to your shooter droid, and then turn your shooter droid on, and if you hit, you know, the wrong button by any chance, you gotta cancel out, because if you climb on something or whatever, you're gonna cancel it out. You're gonna have to do all this. It's the same principle, then just switching out your character. It takes about the same amount of damn time. This was another party update that, you know, people were excited about because Nier, right? I was one of the people that legitimately was like, this is not that exciting, to be honest. I mean, future wise, I'm excited to see what they are going to do with this, because Kuro Games did state that future wise with the droid, you know, it's going to do more than be just used for puzzles. Right now, that's all it's used for, is just for puzzles. You have a character who can shoot a gun. It is given to you for free in the beginning of the game. So there's no excuse why you need the shooting droid. There's really no true excuse. Future wise, I'm hoping it'll be used in combat. Right now, it only does 10 damage. It's not even worth to use in a combat. And then I still got to switch it off in order to go back to the grappling hook if I needed my grappling hook. I mean, to me, it's a useless application that is not necessarily needed right now. That I kind of wish Kuro Games did not add it, to be honest. That would have kept people forcing them to play with a shooting character, whether they liked it or fucking not, and basically build up the tool the way they want to build a tool. Make it to where it's a combat tool as well as a tool to use for puzzles. Something else that he could have done with it to make it more universal for people like myself that, you know, they like shooting characters, that has it on their team almost all the time anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Make it fast.
To me, that wasn't really a quality of life change. It was added, and it also was part of a meh update. Like, that's the way I took it anyway, is when I first saw it, I was like, meh. We're gonna get a puzzle, we're gonna get a shooting puzzle, which, you know, by the time that, if you are like me, you've already, you know, completed every single puzzle anyway by 100% before that the little device even came out. You did all those shooting puzzles, everything already. So it's a meh, because you don't need it. There's no other use for me to use it for. And I don't think it's that good. I mean, if someone else gets enjoyment out of it and everything else, that's great. Get enjoyment out of it. But to me, that also a part of the update, it was meh. I'm excited, though. I am excited for 1.3. I think that when 1.3 comes out, it's going to be a really hype update. Again, I think 1.4 after that is going to be kind of a 1.2. Is going to be a little, you know, meh. And then 2.0 is going to come out, and then that's where the major update's going to happen. And that's when this game is legitimately going to go into another phase, and that is what I'm excited about. I think it's great to have these little breaks, and it doesn't hurt me none. Like I wanted to put it out very point blank and clear before I let you guys go, because I don't want this video to be 30 minutes, but I want it to be understood. I'm not dissing Wuthering Waves just to diss it. Like, I am not going out of my way to say that Wuthering Waves is a shit game or something. My content's all about Wuthering Waves. I love the game. I think Wuthering Waves is a great game, but if I love something so much, I'm also the type of person that's going to criticize it, because there is cons to this. I think that there's more things. I think there's wasted potential in Wuthering Waves that could be fixed, and I'm going to make videos on that future wise. But I am a strong fan of Wuthering Waves, and as a strong fan, I should be able to criticize it as well as praise it. You know, fair assessment. So if you think that I'm like some people do, apparently they think I hate Wuthering Waves, you're dead wrong. You don't have your facts straight, because I love this game. I play this game every single day. I enjoy this game every single day. It's just that there is things in it that I do believe can be done better. That's all. But I digress. All that good stuff. We've gone so far in time. I will open up now the comment section to you guys. If you made it this far in the video, leave your thoughts down below on this video. Tell me what you believe about, you know, Wuthering Waves. Was it a good update in your personal opinion? Do you agree with my assumption that it was a meh update? You know, let me know what your thoughts is down below. Like the video if, you know, the video was good to you. Dislike it if you don't care and you hate the shit out of me and you think my opinion does not matter and I can go jump off a bridge. I mean, by all means, go ahead and do that. And at the end of it, just be safe, be cool, be great, and keep it classy, keep it jazzy. And and join our fucking Discord. It's a brand new server. It's dedicated to WutheringWaves. Other gacha games too are allowed to come talk into it. But if you feel like you're an outcast to every other place, and you like what you see, and you think that you are in the same mindset, and you think that this is a community that you could grow in, where everyone else pretty much are pricks, you know, they're uptight little beady bush fucking form followers, trust me, we got a Discord server. Come join it. It's only got like 26 people in it, but by all means, come join it. I try talking it every single day, and would love to get people's opinion. Whether you want to criticize, whether you want to get in debates, whether you want to just have a conversation, doesn't matter. It's open to everybody, and you know, freedom of speech. No one's going to get banned in it unless you are completely a douchebag. Otherwise than that, I believe in freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and I believe that everybody has the right to their own personal opinion. So, with that being stated, all that stuff done, I'm going to let you guys go. Keep it classy, keep it jazzy, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.